Alright guys, today we're going to make pinto beans. Um, since we're locked up in the house, can't go anywhere, figured I might as well show you guys how I make my beans. Uh, Surprisingly, not a lot of people know how to do that anymore. Anyways, you go to the market, you buy a couple pounds of beans. You're going to measure these out. I'm going to use 3 cups. 3 cups of beans. Back in the day when I was a kid, we used to sit around the dinner table, be my mom, my dad, my sister, and myself, and we'd all get a big pot of beans each, and we used to have to sort them. You'd lay them on the table, and you'd go through them, and you'd look for rocks or little beans that are half bean that have been broken. You pull those out. Anyways, you would sit there and talk about the day's events. Kind of miss those times. And now that we're all stuck home, it's a good way of getting to know what everyone's doing. Catch up on the day's events. Anyways, you're going to go through them, clean out any rocks, anything that shouldn't be in there. You're going to pull it out. Any half beans that are broken, pull those out. At that point, you're going to take your beans. Like I said, I measured them out. I'm using 3 cups of beans. Oops. I'm going to have to pick that one up. Let me seal these. Anyways, did this last night. I sorted out my beans, put them in a pot, added water. You let them soak overnight. If you let them soak overnight, your beans will come out a little lighter. They won't be so dark brown. I put them inside here. I rinse them off, and then I added water. I let them soak. I let them soak overnight. Like I said, this is what you're going to end up with 3 cups of beans. We're going to take this. We're going to add them to our pot. Like I said, they've been soaking overnight. Some people say that you do that to get the gas out of them, but that's not true. Anyways, we're going to pour them all in. We've already drained them. Already drained off all of the water. We're going to add water. There's the beans. And add some water. Anyways, what I do, I cover my beans probably about 3 inches of water. Make sure that the beans are completely soaked, that they're sitting in the water. Alright guys, once you've added the water to the pot of beans, what I like to do, I take bacon, uncooked bacon, and I just drop in 3 strips. Put whatever flavor bacon you like. I just use regular. Anyways, I'm going to put 3 strips of bacon in there. Then I add 1 chili. These are called chili hueritos. I leave the stem on. You'll find out why later. Anyways, you get it. Take your knife. Put it pointy side up. They're called chili hueritos or yellow chilies. I just get it and I cut an X right down it. So I make 2 slices down it, not all the way through, just so that it opens up a little bit. You can smell this thing, it smells so good. Drop that inside of there, just like that. This is what your beans are going to look like, sitting in the pot. Looks pretty good. We're going to take that and move that to the stove now. Anyways, I'm going to put the fire on, put that on high until the water boils. Once the water boils, you turn it down to simmer. and then cover it with the lid. Okay, so we'll be back as soon as this thing starts boiling. Once the boiling starts, I'm going to add a fistful of salt. I'm using kosher salt. I like the salt. Just get whatever fits inside of the palm. You drop it in there. You don't have to stir it. You just put it in there. Once it boils and the temperature is lowered down. In the meantime, we're gonna smoke some steaks. I got 4 T-bone steaks here. Pretty good size. So what we're going to use this rub you can get from Trader Joe's. It's called coffee and garlic rub. I know it doesn't sound right, but this stuff is so good. If you can find it at Trader Joe's, I highly suggest you go buy some. As soon as they get it in, it seems like it's gone. Anyways, we're gonna give it a liberal coating. There must be some molasses in here or something because it's a little sweet. It's a little bit sweet, but it adds such a great flavor to it. My sister turned me on to this. She's the one who told me. We were out camping one night, or one weekend, and we were having ribs. And she told me about this, that she seasoned her ribs with this. You're going to want to put this stuff all the way around. Anyways, she gave me a can. She gave me a can so I could try it. I've since gone out and bought several more cans. Make sure that you rub it in there real good. But as soon as you flip them over, some of it falls off. Make sure every inch is covered. This stuff, all the stuff that's falling off to the sides, that's on the bottom of the pan, you just get the steaks, rub the sides in them, and you're set. Anyways, these are our steaks. We'll be putting these on the smoker. I'm going to go get the smoker set up right now. And as luck would have it, our beans are boiling. We're going to take our salt. Like I said, you're going to take the salt. I put in about a fistful of salt. Then we're going to lower our temperature. Just let it simmer. Put the pot on. I don't put the pot on. I don't put the cover on all the way. I kind of leave it a little bit off to the side. Anyways, this is a very simple thing to do. Very simple thing to make. It takes you but a few minutes. Most of the time it's just going to be waiting for it to cook. I guess, like I said, we've got our steaks ready. Our beans are simmering. We've got our steaks seasoned. We're going to let them rest here about an hour. And let all that seasoning get in there. And in the meantime, I'm going to take our smoker out and get it fired up. Put some chips and some water in there. Come on, I'll take you along. Let's go. Okay, we're out here at the smoker. Got my chips ready, got them soaking in water. We're going to be smoking with pecan chips. I'm going to turn our smoker on. Set the temperature for 230 degrees. We set our smoker up. It's set for 230 degrees. Wouldn't you know it, once you start filming outside, the neighbor's getting their tree trimmed. Hasn't been trimmed in 30 years. Now they decided to do it this morning. The luck of YouTubing. Well, like I said, our smoker's all set up. We're just waiting for it to come up the temperature. In that amount of time, we can sit back. I was going to have a beer, but then I thought, you know what? I could have had a V8. So that's what I'm going to do. Look in our steaks, check them out. Our beans are boiling. Not boiling, but simmering. We're going to check those in 2 hours. I'm going to check them in 2 hours, see how they're doing, see how they're coming along. It should take probably 2.5 to 3 hours to cook them. At that point, I'll just let them rust a little bit. And we're going to refry some for tonight's dinner. The rest of them we're just going to put in a baggie and portion them out and freeze them so that we'll have beans for the rest of the week or next couple weeks. Depends on what we're going to do. Next time you see me, we'll be taking the steaks outside, putting them on the smoker, and checking it out. Anyways, it's been about an hour and a half already that the beans have been simmering. Give you a quick look. That's them. Water's dropped down a little bit. That's to be expected. What I do, and I don't know if you really have to, but I always do it. I get 2 cups of water and I leave it sitting at room temperature. I don't like adding cold water to it. So I put almost 2 full cups in there. Bring the water level up a little bit. It's only covering the beans about 3 inches. About 3 inches, that's enough. 3 or 4 inches. Anyways, we'll let it simmer. We'll let it simmer, just sit there. We probably got like about another hour of cooking. Time to put our steaks on. We're gonna put our steaks out on the smoker right now. So, if you'll come with me, well, let's take these bad boys outside, throw them on a smoker. Let's see what we get. Wow. It always smells so good around the smoker. Ooh, I don't know if you can see all that smoke coming out. We're gonna get our steak. Here's our last one. I'm gonna stick it right inside of here. That's about right. So we got 4 steaks inside of there, 4 T-bones. I'm gonna close it up. And there goes our guys with the chainsaws. As soon as I come out here, they start. Oh well. This is our little tray. This is our little tray for our wood chips. We're gonna load her up. Not a lot fit inside of here, but and just put some in. Well, we're all set. We're gonna let that do its magic. If you guys have a family, or even just wife and husband, or your kids, get them out. Show them how to make beans. Simple process. Gives you a little bit of time alone to talk about the day's events while sorting them. And who knows, you might start a new tradition. There's a lot of people out there who don't know how to make beans, which is a shame. Your mother should have taught you. I know mine did. Anyways, we'll check back. Like I said, we got about another hour left on the beans, maybe hour and a half. Well guys, it's been 2.5 hours since we put the beans on. Now comes the time to check them out. Let's see. Way to check them out, you just get, oh, I can already feel them. All it takes is one. You know what? They're actually ready right now. That does taste pretty good. What we're gonna do right now, they need a little bit more salt. So let's get a little bit more salt. We put a fistful in there at first, and now we're going to put maybe half of a fistful in there now. Put that in there. Get a little spoon. Give this a little stir. Get all those flavors mashed up in there. These are looking very, very good. I'm going to let them go for maybe another 30 minutes. Probably doesn't even need it. They're tasting mighty fine right about now. And like I said, when I put the top on, I don't seal it all the way. I let it sit off a little bit, let some of the steam escape so that it doesn't bubble up and create a mess. We're back outside. We're going to check on our steaks. Check that out. Steaks are looking really, really good. Add some more chips. You have to add chips to this thing about every hour and a half, 2 hours, depending. We don't really want this to be like a heavy smoke. I want to taste that rub on there. A little bit of the smoke. That's why we're using pecan. Most people, when they think about steaks or red meat at all, they're thinking about mesquite, hickory, but those are heavy smokes. That's a real heavy smoke. I want the smoke flavor, but I don't want to be overwhelmed by it. So we're using pecan. It's a little sweeter smoke. It'll offset the sweetness of the coffee rub on our T-bones. So we'll be back out here in a little bit. Oh, there's my granddaughter, the irrepressible Allison. You know what? She's been here since she was a little tiny baby. Skated back then, skating now. This kid doesn't change. I'm one of the lucky grandparents. I got a good granddaughter. But that's another story. Well guys, it's time to take the steaks off. The smoker. They've been on there for about an hour and 40 minutes. Let's check them out. We're not trying to fully cook them in the smoker. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see that? I sure wish that you guys could smell these. They smell delicious. What we're going to do, anyways, that's them. We're going to take these inside, put them in the, we're going to wrap them up, put them in the broiler. Well, I shouldn't say we're going to wrap them up. We're going to wrap this up and put them in the broiler. Oof. We just took them off the smoker. They've been out there about an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 35 minutes. Now we're going to take them. We're going to put them inside the broiler. We'll be back in a moment. Now, got our broiler ready. Let's get these steaks on the broiler. We'll broil them up for a few minutes each. We'll be right back as soon as it's done. Alright guys, in the meantime, we're going to get a little bit of Western oil. Throw a little bit of Western oil in our pan. Probably about 3 or 4 tablespoons. Anyways, we're going to let that heat up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to place our beans inside of the pan after it's nice and heated. And we're going to use our bean smasher or mashed potato smasher, whatever you want to call it. It's a smasher. You want to put the beans in, mostly beans, not too much of the liquid, because it's going to start splattering with the water from the beans. Anyways, let's heat this up. Ideally, you would like to use Rex lard. That's R-E-X. It's a red little container or a big tub. We used to have that handy all the time, and as time has changed, nobody cooks with lard anymore. But I guarantee you that's the best flavor. Once the oil starts smoking, you'll know that you're in about the right temperature to put the beans in. I've tasted the beans. Beans are delicious. I wish that you guys could try it. I got my steaks inside of the broiler, and then we'll see how that comes out. Okay, we're getting a little smoke out of our beans. Okay, we're going to scoop out some beans. Like I said, we're going to drain off a lot of the juice. Whoa. Nothing like that suitable. Anyways, put some beans inside there. If we have any bacon, fish that out of there. You don't really want to mash that up. That and the chili. Reason we did the chili like we did is so that you could fish it out easy. You can fish out that and the bacon. Anyways, our beans are frying. We're gonna get our masher. We're gonna mash them up a little bit. Doesn't take a whole bunch. Once you see that the consistency is gonna be, and the splat from the beans is gone, you can take your spoon, ladle on some more juice here and there. Not a whole bunch. You're not going to want a whole bunch, but enough to make it a little bit pliable. Oh, a little bit more. There we go. This is what it looks like from the top. We're getting our masher, mashing them up. Like I said, we're going to let those beans cook a little bit. And cook off some of that liquid, some of that water. That water's got all the flavor in it. Anyways, that's about it. That's basically it for cooking our beans. You want some of that liquid to cook off, but not all of it. You want them a little bit runny. I don't like to mash my beans a whole bunch. Enough so that they're smashed and that there's no full beans left in there. But you don't want it to be like mashed potatoes. So just a few presses here and there. Let's pop in on our steaks. Let's take a look at our steaks. Ooh. Okay. Anyways, I'm going to flip them over. I don't want them burning. I just want a little sear mark on them, that's all. Ooh. These are so good. I'm going to let those cook off a little bit. We'll be back. I'm starting to think, why do they call them refried beans? Because you've only fried them once. You cooked them once, right? You cook them once and then you fry them. So they should just be called fried beans, right? Anyways, there's our, take a little sample, little scoop. This is what we're looking at here. A lot of people add cheese. I'm not going to add cheese. So let's give this a little taste. Oh my goodness. I miss this. I don't eat this a whole lot, guys. I just saw a video the other day about somebody making refried beans, and I was like, Are you serious? Nobody knows how to make these anymore? So, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. You learned how to make beans. Are delicious, and I have enough for dinner. We'll be back. We'll be back in a minute. As soon as these steaks are done, we're going to cut one open and check it out. Be back in a minute. All right, guys, we've taken the steak out of the broiler. It's now sitting in our sitting here cooking or sitting. We're gonna let it sit for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna try it out. So we'll be back in 20. Okay, little taste test. My granddaughter's gonna try it out. That's the T-bone steak, refried beans. What do we say? A or nay? What's it taste like? Like what? Give me a little run by.
What is it?
Pecan smoke and coffee rub.
Oh wow.
What do you think? Is it smoked? Got a lot of smoke or a little smoke?
I think so.
I've already tried it.
I think so.
I mean, I'm gonna try it next. I mean.
I don't like when it's overwhelming. I like when it's like.
Subtle.
Yeah.
That's how this one should be.
Yeah.
It works.
Too intense.
It works. All right, guys. There you guys have it. Anyways, we're gonna surprise the wife tonight. It's dinner time. Should be home shortly, probably about another 20 minutes, and we'll have dinner. We'll let you guys know what they think. Well, if you guys liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Smash that bell, and don't forget to subscribe, and do tell a friend. Till next time, see you in the funny papers. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? My friends all drive Porsches, I must make amends. Worked hard all my lifetime, no help from my friends. So Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz?